January 20th, and I put on some makeup, as you can see, for a change. And I like the lighting that's coming through my window because I think it makes me look good. Well, basically, I'm on this, like, I downloaded this app. I thought it was because of Donald Trump, right? They banned him from Facebook and from all these other platforms. And then he put himself on Parler, and then I tried to download it, and I downloaded something else instead called Azar. And on that app, you can, like, talk to strangers everywhere in the world. They just pop up. You swipe left, and it just, random strangers come on, and you can just talk for about nothing. So, most of the people that I speak to are Arabic, and they live in Israel, right? And it's funny because I say, they ask me, where are you from? I say America, and then I say, where are you from? And they say, I'm from Palestine. You know? And I always think that's interesting that they say that because according to history, like, most of the Arabic people that live, even as citizens in Israel, they don't consider themselves Israeli Arabs. They kind of consider themselves a separate entity, you know? Like, they call Israel Palestine. And every time they say that, I laugh because according to the history, the Romans that occupied Israel at one point, they tried to eradicate Jewish presence in Israel, and they renamed Israel Palestine. And before the 1948 war, before the Israeli independence, Arabs and Jews that were living in Israel were called Palestinian, you know? And the Palestinian, the phrase is not anything to do with Muslims, has nothing to do with Muslims. It's just they call themselves Palestinian, and there's nothing connecting them to that, you know? Also, what I find interesting is that they mostly hate Donald Trump because he did the Jacob Accords, yeah? He made peace with the United Arab Emirates, with Israel and everything, so that kind of puts, like, the Arabic people in Israel in a spot where they don't have the support of the Arabic neighbors, you know? You know, so they're pretty much on their own in Israel. They're not gonna, if they do any monkey business, then they're not gonna have the support of the other Arab countries, you know? So that's why they hate Donald Trump, because he made peace in the Mideast, you know? So I thought that's interesting. A lot of these, it's funny because it's like different kind of people in Israel. There's Christians that live in excuse me, I'm still recovering from my cold. There's Christians that live in Nazareth. There's Bedouins that actually serve in the IDF. And they have, like, Israeli flag on their wall and everything. Like, I've spoken to a lot of people on this app, you know, and it's yesterday. Yesterday, this guy I was speaking to, the Arabic guy, he grew up in the north, and he went to, like, a Jewish school, and he's very religious Muslim. So we were just talking, and I like to just hear about their life and, you know, what's going on, and their views and everything. And I don't really argue. I never argue with them about politics because there's no point, you know. So I showed him my cards, my tarot cards, and I told him, you know, he didn't know what it was. So I told him, I know, I can know the future. I can know about you if I ask. I told him it's like you ask the spirits, you ask the angels, you ask God to tell you through the cards information, you know? I said, yeah, it's forbidden according to the Quran, according to Judaism, and according to Christianity. It's kind of outlawed. So I said, do you want to try? He's like, sure. So I asked the cards. I said, what's going on with this guy's life, right? And it came up that, like, a few things. And I told him, yeah, it looks like you're having heartbreaks. Your life is like this right now, and, you're not feeling too good, whatever. So his mouth is like, flies open. And he's like, how did you know? I'm like, the cards told me. So then he hung up on me. Apparently it was accurate. Yeah, so that's just an interesting thing that I see on this app, It's been hailing outside. It was really cool, like hail flying down from the sky. And it's raining, and I have to go to work soon, and it's interesting. I spoke to my mother. No, I didn't speak to my mother, but we're on the family chat. We have a WhatsApp family chat, and my mother writes that she was crying when she watched Trump's farewell speech. She was crying, and when I heard that, I was like, it just struck me that, like, how much people love Trump and what a good job he did for the Jewish people and for the world and for America. It's like, it's kind of a tragedy what happened with him. 80 million Americans love him. That's a lot of people. And Kamala Harris, what I read about her is that she got into her position through her sexuality. And she supported Planned Parenthood when they were, like, dismembering the bodies of the babies and selling the body parts. She defended them because she was receiving funding. And she's really, like, she's not a good person, like, she's charismatic, yes. She's charming, yes. She could even come across as sweet. And Joe Biden is also, but she's like a snake. Joe Biden's not going to stand long in the presidential race. He's going to be president for a few days. Like today, they're supposed to get inaugurated. He's going to be there for a few months, I believe, and Kamala's going to take his position. And she'll run America into the ground just like she ran California into the ground. Yeah. I'm not dating anyone. The guy, basically, that I broke up with, he's like... I told him my reasons why I broke up with him. And he's like, that's not the reason you really broke up with me. And I said, then what other reason could there be? Because I told him that, he has different... His personality and his goals and everything is different than mine. He's like, oh, it's because you have other guys that are, that you want to go out with, you have another man, and he's giving you money, blah, 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 And I'm like, that's not true. I have no one right now, and I don't even want to date, at least right now. Like, I'm tired, I just want to, relax and... and he's like, oh, you're going to learn the hard way. He tells me, you're going to learn the hard way, this guy tells me. I said, how so? And he's like, okay, good night. He didn't want to tell me how I'm going to learn the hard way. Like, the guys, they can't get their way. They always, like, start using threats, Interesting thing. Interesting observation, right? Yeah, so that's life, that's the way the ball bounces, Phew. I think I'm enjoying my life in Israel. I like it here, I have my job, thank God. I have my little tiny home, my animals. You know, I feel good, and thank God for everything. I'm going off to work now, and have a good day.